So recently, the feedback and the viewership has been really good when I cover my own games, particularly tournament sets. And so basically, I've set a rule. Any tournament I play from here on out, win or lose, I will review the series afterwards, talk through what I was thinking, blah, 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 and share those experience with you guys. Because I am not good enough to stream it at the same time. I always have a dip in performance. I just don't have that luxury to have a dip in performance and still do things in tournaments. So in order to try and push and become a really, really good player, this is me still like sharing the content with you all. So the tournament was sudden disaster. I want to briefly show the draft. Palisade Socotra ends up being game number 1. Bullet is a 2K1, former 2K2, 2K3 player from Sweden. I actually remember casting him like 10 plus years ago. He's been around a long time. He picked Triple Tunnel and Skukuza. I picked Koala, which is kind of like a standard lands map. There's nothing too crazy with it, just because I am a player who plays more Arabia than him, and I wanted to lean towards my strengths. I felt that was good. And then also ended up picking Canberra. Just wanted to ban out like Arena, Hideout, Jungle Rumble, some of these maps that incorporate walls where I thought he'd be a little bit stronger. And now for the draft real quick, I picked Persians because Persians have more HP on their TCs, so it's amazing in sudden death. I was thinking maybe Canberra for that. Mongols because Skukuza has a lot of hunt. Dravidians because we have multiple maps that incorporate water, and I can transition into water in different ways. Portuguese because we have some maps that, Portuguese are basically good everywhere. Georgian's a really good pick for a lands map, like Koala or Palisade Socotra. Khmer the same. And then Vietnamese was kind of a backup pick because I felt like their late game's good. Could be good for some of the other maps as well. Now, on this draft, there's random bans, so it's really hard to prepare. Like there were certain civs here I had potential plans for. And then you go right into picks. So there's no player bans. The very first pick was mine. I went for Persians. I assumed he was going to insta-ban Persians. Just felt like that civ's like way too good. And then he went for Romans. Now, had he gone for Romans like third or fourth pick, I probably wouldn't have banned it. But I felt like there's a lot of fast castle shenanigans possible with Romans. You've seen videos on. I didn't want that to happen, so I banned Romans. And overall, I had an idea of where I thought he'd play these civs, but let's get into the games and actually show you the action. All right, guys, so game number 1 I was a little uncertain on. I didn't do any practice games for this, but I've had conversations with people about certain maps and watched a lot of games. And most of these maps I've seen dozens of games on. Didn't have that here. Now, I knew that the elephants were always a bit for a forward. And so I think he did as well. So there's a weird RNG aspect here. Like, I found my elephant right away. He's panicking right now thinking that I stole his elephant. He actually doesn't find it right away, which I didn't really realize. So that's a really good start for me. So yeah, the golden stone is outside the walls. I did notice upon looking at the map that there are some instances where you could expand your walls ever so slightly to protect some gold. I didn't know about this yet, but this is a good example of that. So I didn't really think it's a map that you want to take a lot of risks on. I picked Khmer because you can open with a... You have the fear of the super fast castle, which I might try if I'm the underdog. But if not that, you also can just go feudal age and be aggressive. Wasn't really expecting him to pick Koreans, to be honest. This was a little bit of a surprise to me. And I was thinking through how Koreans play out, and like really cheap spears and skirms. Usually players with Koreans are going like spear skirm into like some towers for map control. So I needed to hold map control. I was concerned that if I opened with a stable to go scouts, as this zebra is trolling me, that he could just add like 1 or 2 spears and then he's protected already. Then I'm transitioning into skirms, and then he already has more skirms than me. So, as unexciting as it sounds, maybe, I just kind of felt like, I think I got to open skirms here. Get ahead of the skirms. We get ahead in the skirm department. We have better eco because we're Khmer, and the farms and whatnot. And then in Castle Age, now that he can't go for lots of pikemen because I have the skirms, then I can go for some knights. So that was kind of my thought process. He is currently housed, actually. And he's a little bit late to feudal age compared to me. But yeah, like, it's really nice. I don't really ever need to build a barracks here. So I'm just looking at some base structure things. Just just seeing, is there a gold back here maybe? Is that open? Just thinking about all the long-term possibilities here. And I was hoping to find something like this. This was amazing. I was like, okay, that's perfect. I was going to build like in the middle, but now I can kind of build in a defensive manner and eventually wall this way. Then we hit Feudal Age a little bit faster. He had a couple hits on his scout, and now we see he's going to stone. So I was like, okay. If he doesn't reach Feudal Age, he's going fast castle. And he reaches Feudal Age. So I'm like, okay, he's not. He's just going to drop a couple towers probably. And he's looking to see what I'm going for. And he actually will see the range. Now, in his mind, that could be an archer openings. But I'm ahead to the skirm race, as unexciting as it sounds. But look at the difference in the eco. I have farms with horse collar, so in Castle Age, I'll be saving a lot more wood for other things. And I've actually transitioned on to farms faster than him. I have villagers only working on food, only working on wood. He's got the villagers building the tower. The tower is obviously good to protect this, but I think the key in my mind was we need to stop the towers from going up super offensively here. I didn't really scout he had these golds too. But we wall this up, so now this gold's protected for later on, and it is just skirms versus skirms. Everyone's favorites. I think there are some crazy things you could do on this map, but overall, I think Scout Rush is not great because you can't get in because it's walled. So you're going to lean towards range units, and there's only 2 range units you can do in Feudal Age. So I think it will actually be lots of skirms. I think their goal was to make it a bit different than normal Socotra, and we saw lots of skirms in normal Socotra. But this actually eliminates more diversity and strategies, in my opinion. I think the really good games are going to be when someone tries Fast Castle here, then it gets really chaotic. Which I may have to do at some point, but it's game 1. I wanted to get a feel for, am I better than this guy? I wanted to give him the feel like I'm better than him as well. And so far, we got 2 kills. We got 2 kills. Our scout HP is higher. We have to be very patient here. We're still massing those skirms. I'm here to hopefully catch off a reinforcement skirm. Doesn't happen. I see he's on the golds. We will slow down where need be, by the way. But for the time being, I think speeding up makes sense for this review. Because it is just skirmishers in Feudal Age. And you can see my resources looking pretty damn good right now. Skirm count, we're ahead. And again, I'm happy. Like, he's built 2 towers. There's nothing I can do against those towers right now. But now, notice he doesn't have lots of spears. Now I actually have the luxury of switching into some calves. So sometimes you have to, like, go something to stop the opponent from being in a position to make your counter. And I see he has more skirms, less skirms than me, so I'm trying to get kills. And his tower's gotten some HP damage. Okay, so this is where it actually gets really important. I want to talk through thinking. So, he's on stone. He gets 1 tower here and walls that in. I can't push it back with siege because it's Korean towers. That's really bad. Really, really bad. Like, we cannot never allow that. So, but like, how do I eventually push his base then, right? The only thing I could think of was castle. Like, I have to be on stone myself. But the stone is not safe. The stone is literally right here. So it's like we lose the fight. This could snowball really, really badly. Again, we've got like a 30-second lead to Castle Age. We have a couple Vil lead technically because of less idle time, but that's not something I know. So I'm just like, okay. Skirms. Skirm number's healthy. Let's go double stable knights now. Try and push this. Try and get some, what I call like chip damage. Just like poking and prodding. I'm not going to end the game right now. Against another Civ, I end the game right now. But against Koreans, that tower is way too dangerous. It was super easy for him to recover with spears and skirms. So the more I think about it, Koreans are actually pretty solid here. He didn't know exactly what was happening here, but he's going to drop a second tower, I think, just to play it safe. And so my units come in here. I did research Bodkin, but I wasn't able to afford Elite Skirm. I clicked it like 3 or 4 times, but I just did not have the wood because I needed to go for other things. And so I'm just trying to use my timing advantage. He just now gets Bodkin Arrow. And now I just kind of park my skirms here, and I look at the HP on my knights, and we just play pull the weak ones away, right? Nothing that exciting, but every time one gets weak, back away. We killed 1 villager. We force some idle time. We get a second one. That's pretty nice for us. We do, however, lose all of our skirms. So the situation I was just talking about is a little different now. Like, now we could realistically go into some spears. So this is actually very risky. Like, I think I shouldn't have stayed there as long as I did. I think I probably should have kept those skirms alive. It's amazing the value they have. Like, they could give you value against monks as well. But I've been increasing the amount I have on stone. And I guess from his perspective, he's just still waiting to see, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to send his way? He doesn't even know. He doesn't know I'm on stone. He actually, I don't know where he was taking stone. I guess it was here. He actually ran out. And now, you think this is where I started to be like, oh, this is nice. He's panicking. He's panicking. He drops a tower here. Doesn't really seem like a tower he needed to place. But from his perspective, he has no information. And he feels behind. He's always been chasing me. And so, and sometimes you're just like, well, whatever, I'm Koreans. Towers are always good. So, I'm seeing that. I'm seeing his army is here. I'm still building up, still waiting to drop the castle. And I did see the relics as well. Relics are huge in 1 TC situations. Didn't feel like taking the risk to take the relics right now. Just felt like I might need my monks to heal or convert a pikeman or something. Literally, it's like, this is the most important thing. Getting a castle down. You can't push double tower with Koreans with mangonels and castle age. You just can't. He's actually planning on getting a castle himself. Maybe right smack dab in the middle. So my siege is a good addition. And we drop the castle there. Now, it's funny. I watched some casts. In fact, I watched 3 separate casts on super fast speed. And it's funny to see, like, Twitch chatters or casters talk about it. Right? And a lot of people were like, well, you're ahead. Why not kill him? It's sudden death. Because when you're ahead, you need to stay ahead. And I can win this game and take a little bit longer if I play it safe. This is not a charity here. I'm not about to donate some wins. And, you know, I didn't also know exactly where the TC was. Yeah, but, like, technically I could have walked around and dropped the castle here, but then everything moves the wrong way, and then he just castles the middle of the map. Like, the middle of the map is absolutely key in terms of long-term gold and stone. Sloppy for me. I did pull some vills to repair that, but I lose a mangonel to a guard tower, which should never happen. My knights are now headed this way. But we can see his army's over here. His castle's going up here, and there's not really anything... Unless I want to be insane, that I can do beyond try and get to the Imperial Age from here on out. So, trying to get some relics right now to increase the gold income. We got relic number 3, relic number 4 on the way. Camped the stone here with these skirms so we know if he's there. Which I also have an outpost here. It's, not gonna lie, feeling pretty good from up here. I felt like it's been a very, very smooth game. Which isn't always the case for me in tournaments. I think getting +2 armor didn't help at all. And that's a really expensive upgrade. Had I saved those resources, I might be in better shape to get to the Imperial Age. But it just felt natural against the towers and the amount of range units he had out there. So economically, I was in this weird spot where obviously I need more food eco, so I need to add farms. But then I also really need a market now. So I'm like, just waiting for the wood for a market. Like, come on, please, give me the market. He does send villagers this way to attack those 2 skirms, which are camping. And so there I go to make sure he doesn't take that stone. I finally get the wood. I'm dropping the market so I can buy some food. He used the market a lot more than me this game. I probably should have built one early. And I lose 2 knights there because I suck. But in the end... We're going to end up being up at very similar times here. Very similar times. However, I have the eco lead because I have more vills. I also have the relics. And I have, like, way more long-term gold control. And so, again, I watched a bunch of people like, it's sudden death T90. Why are you not playing sudden death? I guess people want action, right? I win the game with Trebs here. 2 castles beats 1. Little risky, perhaps, because... my vills are exposed. I really was paying attention to see if his castle could range. But we go for this castle here. And with this castle, we secure the position. And we also make a cheeky ram or 2. Because, and only because, I knew he didn't have a siege workshop. Like, there's no siege in this game from him. So I didn't think he could go for a mangonel behind. And also, my castles range any villagers that go attack the rams. So this is pretty cheeky. This is pretty nice. The villagers also in there to repair. We also put our knights into this castle to dish out damage onto that castle. And I'm fully prepping my resources for trebuchets. And he's in a rough spot. He would need to make trebs and maybe try and go like around to take out my TC. And I was just thinking, okay, what are my lose conditions here? I don't get bombard cannon. So I need my monks to potentially chip in there and get conversions. We actually... I don't know if I ever eject this treb. Okay, looks like I do. I was just a little late to hopping out with my trebs. I was really annoyed with myself that he got 2 trebs out. It felt like it should have never happened. But either way, 2 castles beat 0. And even if he has chemistry on the way, he's kind of screwed from here. He saw my monks, and they were free kills for him, but now he has no army defending. And honestly, even if he had the army defending, I'm making skirms. I have better upgrades on the skirms. Well, actually, that's not true, but I have ballistics at least. I still have my knights. His TC's right there. And we take the first game. So this was a confident one for me. This kind of showed, like, okay, I could play standard and get ahead. Let's see what wacky stuff he brings in the next games. I think there's a lot of different things that can be done on this map, but it just felt in this matchup with Khmer versus Koreans, literally just opening with skirms and playing into some castle age advantages were key. You look back, so much stone and gold in the middle. This was the key moment of the game. So I think the faster castle age, forcing him into some defensive towers, being on stone was actually a huge call. Would never go to stone at that time if it's not sudden death, but I think it worked out. Man, are my lights really bright right now? I feel like I'm lit up like a light bulb. Anyways, we'll move into the next game and talk through that. All right, so game number 2. If you remember the draft, I picked Mongols second. But actually, hold on. I want to talk about this real quick before we fully dive into this. Because, again, I've seen people's comments, and I need to explain how the tournament works. Okay, so here's the draft, right? All the bans here are randomized by the system. It's not player selected at all. Then I get first pick. Then he gets 2 picks. And then I get to pick after that. The reason I'm bringing this up is because people were very critical of my opponents saying, how can you ever allow Mongols? You literally can't ban anything as a player here. So the only thing you can do is you can snipe after the fact. And if he snipes Mongols here, well, then he's up against Persians, which has more HP on town centers than the fastest working town centers, which is amazing on pretty much every map in sudden death. So right off the bat, I was happy with Mongols. I was very happy with that. And I thought with his draft that he was going to go like some type of early Drush attempt. That was kind of my feeling because he picked the map. He ends up having Japanese. And this is a very interesting one from his perspective, right? So I'm pretty certain, I haven't asked him, but it seems obvious. He wanted to go for early militia to deny all the hunt in the middle, okay? So he's going forward to scout, see what I'm doing. He's going forward to deny whatever. Now, me as Mongols, I'm like, okay, some crazy shit's going to happen. I need to push in as many zebra as possible. But here he goes. And so he's looking. He saw me pushing 1 zebra. And he's looking around. Doesn't see any vills in the middle. And sees him just pushing zebra or ostrich, whatever, right? And I think in his mind, he bails on his strat. I think he doesn't think I'm ever going out to the middle and that militia would not be worthwhile. By the way, I'm scouting with sheep. I sent a bunch of sheep to the north because I don't want him to steal them. And he's looking. Now, he did see this straggler being chopped. I don't think he sees the other stragglers being chopped, but he just scouted at the wrong time. Based on what he's seen, he does not know I am going to add the militia. So, you obviously have to fear the Mongols. I think in his mind, because look, like he's on wood right now. Like this still feels like it's the barracks build. I can't really tell. It definitely felt like he was going to do it. But now maybe he's like, all right, I could just take the middle myself. No problem. I'm not going to benefit from adding the militia. So yeah, I agree with the assessment. Mongols are insane. Maybe he could have banned the Mongols. This was his home map, but Persians are insane as well. I also felt I had a slight mental edge over this guy because he literally said to me, he said, oh man, like my favorite civs were banned with a random ban, and then you picked my other one, right? Like I was like, bro, don't tell me this. I didn't say that, but I was thinking about this. So I go into a different mode, right? And those things, like that gives me a mental edge. That makes me feel like, all right, I'm going to surprise him here, or he feels like he's behind. And just things kind of just fall apart for this poor guy. He guessed wrong. He didn't see the barracks when he went forward. He didn't see my vills in the middle. He now needs to build a house, and I am here denying that. He doesn't have loom. Now, he has a Black Forest background, so his quick walls could be really nice, but no loom is kind of a problem for him here. And this is snowballing on him very, very, very quickly. We also get a nice dodge there so the TC doesn't do damage. And now I know that house timing was probably when he was at the limit, so I'm thinking he's housed. And now he needs to adapt. And behind this, we now bring the vills to hunt. Pretty slick build, if I do say so myself. I didn't actually know that he was going to have the vills there. It just ended up working out. And now he's in recovery mode with less food than me because I'm in the middle with Mongols. By the way, I'm still delaying my lumber camp, so I will go to wood eventually. But we placed the mill right away. And so I'm feeling great right now. Even went to gold so I could make a third militia. Thought about going to gold to make more. But I felt like we were going to force enough reactions where we could hit feudal age faster here. With that barracks, I know he's going to try and add militia now. And so it's kind of just patience, basically. Because he's super far behind, and what he needs to do is he needs something extreme. And that extreme means staying in Dark Age longer. Like more militia, Vil fighting. So I'm actually just kind of taking my time here. But this opening was amazing for me. I didn't end up building my barracks until the perfect time. Honestly, I would have built it at that time regardless of if his scout was there or not. I don't know if I would have hit it. Yeah, now we're chilling. Now we're taking hunts. He has arguably a better army because even though he has less numbers, but now I'm able to add more numbers, and he's super, super, super cooked here. Like, super cooked. He needs food. All the food is in the middle. All the fast food is in the middle. I've got man-at-arms. He's still in Dark Age. Now, this is where I actually need a little bit of patience, but this is where the overconfidence starts for me. And I just say, screw it, let's just patrol. Realistically, what I should do, I should take the fight initially, back up, and then it is like all his vills are following me, and then I can group up on one. I just said, yeah, whatever. I went full doubt here, and I just patrolled, which is actually not good. I could have taken a much better engagement here. I only killed 2 vills, at least so far. We end up killing a third. He obviously has a lot of weak ones from the fight before. I kill another one. And yeah, so it ends up being 5 villager kills. In his mind, maybe he's hoping that this could turn around because I will lose the Vil, like the Vil fight or something. I'm not really sure. I think he was a bit mentally defeated. He also was apparently kind of sick on the day. But I've already got archers here. And even if I were to lose the same amount of Vils he just did, I'm a whole age ahead making archers. There's really no way back right now for him. And the game's not very close. The opening was really smooth for us. We transitioned to the wood line at kind of the perfect timing. We're getting the blacksmith for fletching. At this point, I could technically send more Vils to hunt, but that's taking risks. We already have enough hunt to be happy, so I'm just going to farm for later on in the game. And I was feeling very good. I was feeling very good in this moment. It's rare for me to get the feeling of being the dominant one in a tournament. Usually because it's like if I sign up, it's top 64, and then I'm like seed 55 or something, and I get smashed. So I was locked in, and I felt like, all right, like surely he's mentally defeated now. He still hasn't resigned, and there he goes. And we're up 2-0, and I was like, all right. Game plan's been good so far. We're happy with this. We've got 2 of our home maps. We've got 1 of his maps. We'll see what it is. But I was like, let's not choke this now. If anything gets squirrely in the next game, I have some ability to recover. But yeah, again, it was like I just saw people being like, why not ban Mongols? You literally can't ban Mongols. He cannot do it. It was the right play to ban Persians, by the way, in my opinion. And then he did try and scout to see if I was bringing Vils to the middle, but I didn't bring them initially, so he missed it. And then he also missed the racks. So I think my opening was really, really strong. I think that's actually the best opening for Mongols on this map. I think it's insanely strong. Had he matched it, though, like made militia, scouted, knew, then I think it's actually a much closer game. I still think I have the slight edge there, but then Japanese have other bonuses. The cheap mills, the cheap lumber camps, all that stuff adds up. So, yeah, I think the way this played out was largely just due to the information we both had at the start, and he missed important details. All right, and then here we are, game number 3. This is actually my home map, so I was a little surprised to see him pick it, but then he has to win 3 straight now, right? And he went for Armenians, which was his highest SIB pick. So my first thought with Armenians was galleys. There's water in the middle. Galleys is going to be insane. And I didn't want to go galley war against Armenians. Basically, I wanted to be doing something different than him and making it messy because he's better at galleys, in my opinion. So, yeah, I needed to somehow contest for the water in a unique way. That was in my mind. I didn't do any practice for this series except for 6 minutes of a build on this map. It's actually why I picked it, and it was this. I don't even know if it's that good, but I felt like you get the extra pop space from the dock. The villager on shorefish brings in some food faster than other sources, and then Dravidians have the extra carry capacity. So long-distance fishing here doesn't feel great in most situations, but I'm like, I've got a nice lead, right? I have a nice little tiny lead, which could help me get an edge. But I was not planning on making a ton of fish because now I need the lumber camp. So I was taking the straggler trees just to get by. He has gone to wood in a normal fashion and is bringing a villager out here to dock. And by the way, it's 30,000 food on this map. Or sorry, just not on the map, but on the fish here. So like that, there's tons of fish. If you win water, you have tons of fishing there. But other resources can be fairly exposed. And, he was maybe a little confused seeing my fishing ship there. Well, he certainly sees it. But I knew at this point that he had docked. And I felt like I could be in feudal age a little bit faster. And what do you do against galleys? I say it all the time in my casts. Make it messy. Like, you do not allow them to just have an easy game where it's multiple docks controlling their galleys. You got to hit their base. And so that was the plan for me. He clicks up to feudal age. This is actually a very nice build if he wants to go for 2 docks. You should be able to do that pretty nicely here. And looking at his scouting now, he doesn't see anything, but I've got the barracks up. And I'm going to be making militia. And my goal was to attack this gate. Now, I didn't know where his gold was. I also found a pig here, which kind of helped. I didn't know where his gold was. But we end up getting fortunate. This is the side we're going to attack. Yeah, and now he sees the situation with the dock. And he sees the situation with the militia. So, let me pause for a sec. I don't actually know what his initial build plan was. Because if it was going to be galleys, I think the second dock should be up by now. It ends up working out for him because he sees I'm going 2 docks and he sees the militia. So, like, he's not going to be able to win water super easily on 1 dock anyways now. So he needs the archer response. So, again, I'm not sure what his initial plan was. This is a lot coming at him at once. This is the Dravidian extra wood and the cheap man-at-arm upgrade. I dock on the front. I didn't produce from this dock, and I think that's probably a mistake. My thinking was, let's be patient here, and let's just mass everything in the front dock, and I don't care about fish at all. But I think I need to be a bit smarter in that regard, because actually, if I just made double fires here, I may be just winning water outright. But I also had the range. Like, it's so much wood to spend. I have the range. I'm making archers. I have to plan on a mill for the berries. Like, that's so much wood, dude. So, anyways, this is a lot of pressure. And things get pretty crazy here. We're knocking on the door. He drops a stone gate to keep me out, which is a smart play. I've got the first archer here. I saw he was on gold. I saw his barracks. But, you know, I lose my fire ship there. I did, I don't know even know if it was on screen. I did demo. The demo killed 2 fish. So that was kind of my thinking was like, he can't, all the fish is right in front of my dock. I just don't want him to be able to fish. Did I need to do that? I'm not really sure. Hold up. There's so much happening right now. So much happening. So how did this even happen? Oh, his spearman came out to kill my scout. And when that happened, sorry guys, there's like a million things happening in the same second. So it's actually important to break this down. So he runs out. I try and attack, and then I click in, but I tried to keep the gate open, and I failed, and then I lose my scout. But now I'm in here, which is like kind of good because we're hitting him off of gold, but also really bad because I can't really save myself. What happened to that archer? He just deletes an archer? Okay, well, he's rattled right now. I lose my fishing ships. He does actually have his fish back here on the shore fish, so technically that helps. But in the end, he's not fishing, as far as I'm concerned, in the middle. We've forced some chaos, some control, and actually, he left his gate again. And we're able to save the day, open the gate, and now we can, like, we can actually run in now. Like, this is really crazy stuff. And, of course, everyone looks at the fights, but what we're not looking at is the eco back home, right? So this is what I'm looking at. I'm adding farms, I'm adding the blacksmith. Like, I'm basically thinking about Castle Age right now. But that was nice to not get my full army trapped. So in the end, I don't want to get trapped. I back away. It's a bit interesting. I've reviewed this since, but according to APM and whatnot, he's like way faster than me. But it feels like watching that I've done a better job at spending res, which is kind of the key in this game. This was a nice save for us. We pull the fire ship back, so I just don't fall behind on water. But yeah, you look at this, and he's like so much faster. Probably, you know, maybe due to some nerves or just his play style, like really controls his army a lot, which you might not feel evident right now, but trust me, it'll feel evident later. But he's got 700 wood. He needs to spend that wood on farms or a market or something to balance out his res. But this is a close game. This is a close game. This is the closest game so far, I would say. But I felt good because we had initiative from here. So, I felt like we were ahead with archers for the time being. And I felt like I had him on the ropes here. And so, I wanted to try and push this position. He's getting fletching. He's actually producing more archers than I am right now because I'm trying to produce ships. And lots of micro involved. I actually try and snipe the repair villager, and I get caught out for that. I lose my man-at-arms, and I lose an archer. And now I'm like, oh, crap. Okay, I'm actually falling behind with the archers. Let's not throw here. We get the market up. Don't really need the stone for much right now because you can't build the second TCs, so Castle Age is huge. I wanted to buy the rest of it. And because I felt like I had the lead, I didn't want to be surprised. So I tell my villagers to go out and build outposts. And as I'm looking at that and I look at my base, I lose every single archer there, which starts some problems here. Still trying to pressure on water here. Now I need to be careful with my villagers here on land. But fortunately for me, I still have the range and I'm Dravidians and I have good skirms. So I'm going to make a couple skirms for now. Basically, I have to engage against this before he hits Castle Age. But yeah, I built the houses here for vision. And I just do not want to be surprised by anything. Because it feels like we're ahead on water. Like here, we're able to micro another ship back. He just got completely caught off guard here. It probably could have been in a better spot had he backed away there. But I think he was probably microing the archers or something. And so I'm like, all right, we're ahead on water. We can't lose there. I'm outposting the sides of the land. We can't lose there. Let's go for a siege push. So he can't outboom me, right? Like, he can't drop TCs. And so this is where I'm up 2-0. And this is where everything that you freaking guys want to see when you watch Sudden Death comes into my brain, and I make a transport ship. Because I'm like, all right, if I have water control, I can transport something here, and I just kill his TC. Viewers will love that. That's why I add the transport now. I actually think it's a bad play. I think it's a really bad play. I think I should be 2 farms, as boring as that sounds. But the transport is out there. No, there shouldn't be 2 farms. That should be fish. I should be fishing on this right now. That should be my advantage. But I kind of felt like I won this one right now. I'm up 2-0. I've had really nice control. Again, he said he was feeling a little bit under the weather. There's just all these things. I have no clue how this villager got here, by the way. No clue how this villager got here. But I think he sees that villager. And this could have easily been for a siege workshop on the front, but now he has a mangonel. And now he has the crossbows, and my villager goes down. And my fire ships kind of have to back away for now. But yeah, he kills that army. He's going to move this way now. So now I was really wishing I would have actually had the siege over here. Like, if I can meet his army and siege here, it's perfect. Because I have the fish. I've got the fires. So this is good. And it's sudden death. He's back against the wall right now. So I have all this vision from the outposts on both sides. I'm going to try and pressure him. I am aware of both these golds, so it feels like a good place to push. What do you think when you see these villas, guys? In my position. Castle drop. Yeah. You crap yourself. I thought for sure he was going to castle drop me here. There he goes. He knows that he's spotted. Here he comes. He does not actually have the stone for a castle, though, funnily enough. So I'm like, oh, God, this is not good. He's going to drop a castle on my face. And I'm selling all my food and wood so I can buy my own castle, expecting this to be a castle. I even added a siege workshop to try and get siege out, but I didn't have the golden time to queue anything. So yeah, I get freaked out about this. I click my skirms and as a distraction, rip to the skirms. And it's just a church. I mean, a church that fires arrows. It's kind of annoying, but it's not what I thought it was going to be. So, still could be a problem here. I mean, I don't have siege yet. I'm trying to pressure with siege on this side. And I just drop a defensive castle because I need to stop this from having any power right now. I found, unfortunately, fire ships are actually not so good against mangonels. So my navy kept going down. You'll see me patrol in. I'm like, okay, it's on the shoreline, but then I have to back away. And I still feel like I have the lead. I don't want to throw these mangonels in a time where I'm very busy. He canceled this church. He had a mangonel. It actually got sniped by my castle. And now he kind of backs away. So, got dicey. But now I still have the lead. And now I'm like, all right, now I'm going to use this transport. But, like, I can't transport and drop a castle here. It's next to a siege workshop. And then I can't send all my siege to attack his TC either, because he's bringing his siege out this way. So, I mean, thankfully I'm Dravidian, so I have cheap siege. But yeah, a lot's going to start to happen here. I'm going to add some galleys to control the middle. And I figured with the navy, there's no way that he can ever cross through the middle, so I'm protected there. And now, I need to micro. We need to hold. We've got a small eco lead, and we need to micro. And so I drop the mangonel. He attacks instantly. I now drop off. I attack. I'm happy with this. But then I lose my mangonel here. This is why you can't be fancy, bro. Chat, I know, or viewers, I know you want sudden death to be sudden death. But this is not worth it. This is not worth it. Well, maybe it is. I killed a bunch of villagers. Point is, I really, if you would have asked me, I would have preferred to lose this mangonel, and I would prefer to kill here. And then his crossbows are coming to the middle, and he's killing all my fish. Just because I'm so stressed out about this, and I've got the mangonel. I didn't notice that until a little bit later. We are getting a decent enough snipe there. We're getting the trades, I guess. We are taking down a blacksmith. That's cool. We're still kind of fine. However, that transport screwed me up a little bit. And his back is against the wall right now, and he's really microing like it right here. In the end, I guess that's a decent enough trade with 1-for-1, but then his unit comes across because my war galleys and fires weren't in position. So, yeah, the game just got really messy. When you have the lead, keep the lead and keep it simple. Like, that should be the advice. I did not do that in a way. I really think I just should have simplified my game plan. Fished. Played defensive siege on both sides and chilled out a little bit. But easier said than done, right? Easier said than done. I did not plan this, but my castle is actually in range of the church after Bodkin, so we took down this church. That was nice. And now, he is dropping a siege workshop over here, and he's just, like, walking past all my siege. So I mentioned the APM before. Now is where I really started to feel it. I was still thinking I could literally just mass galleys and galleys range his TC. So, I mean, he has so much siege on the front. I did not expect him to have a lot of siege defensively. His crossbow micro is insane. He's taking down my repair villagers. I had to pull off of this gold, which is actually a problem because I didn't have a lot of gold on the other side. So I will need to shift over here. And my war galleys are still on patrol over here. They'll see one mangonel. Do I kill this? I don't even know. I wasn't looking here. Looks like I do. Okay, that's good. What I was looking at was this. We've got 3 mangonels against 12 crossbows and a villager. He's about to have 1 mangonel. This should be game. At this point, we have the eco lead. We've had a really low idle TC time in a chaotic game. We don't have fish anymore, but I could technically add more. I felt like my farm transition was really nice this game. And then he just yeets himself across the map like a maniac. Crazy stuff. Like, crazy stuff. The fact that he was sniping my repair vills was crazy. Here he comes now with vills. The micro continues. I need to repair. Okay, we take down a mangonel there. We trade mangonels there. This mangonel needs to be repaired. Now I'm like, where are my ships? My ships were here, but then they're, like, dying to the mangonels. So now... I was just such chaos right now. And I see vills, and I'm still thinking he's going to castle drop my face in a sudden death game. And if I lose all my mangonels too, I could be pushed. Like, I could absolutely lose from this position. He gets another good mangonel trade. Like, his micro is absolutely insane this game. And we are now on the way to Imp. We still have the Navy controlled, but we need to not die. So for the second time in a game, I placed a defensive castle. And he actually didn't see this. I think, considering the circumstances, he needs something that hits my TC, but he doesn't know I'm on the way to Imp. Maybe you could guess that. I don't know. But anyways, my castle would have been up. Again, I saw some people be critical of poor Bullet and say, just go in and deny the castle, right? I don't think he gets in time. I think I have enough vills. I think my castle will always complete there. Then he loses his siege. And so kind of similar to the push on the other side, his castle doesn't actually accomplish too much. And when we're in the Imperial Age, we can make trebs to treb this down. So I was hoping, I was really, really hoping. By the way, we lost most our war galleys. So war galleys were not as strong as I thought. And they're expensive too. Yeah, I was hoping he wasn't on the way to Imp. But I kept checking water because Drawmans can be produced instantly from Armenians, so I could not allow him to redock. That was on my mind. Yeah, and just kind of setting up my eco to have lots of wood, setting my eco to have lots of gold for the trebs. Wasn't actually a ton to micro right now, so I just had this little army, which he definitely spotted as well. He's coming over here to try and deal with this eventually. I saw the mule cart was there. I guess the vills aren't there anymore, but I was looking around with the Yarumi. Just double-checking eco upgrades, double-checking upgrades, getting murder holes in case he goes for rams or something. Ballistics is helpful too. And his mangonel is going to walk across there. The Yarumi takes care of that. And we're an Imp. And now he's pretty much cooked. Like, not really sure what he can do from here. I mean, he needs his siege to push my TC. He can't do that. And, yeah, so from here, we have to do the safe play. Again, boring, maybe. We're going to go for his castle first. I'm not going to keep that up. But then I queue up another transport. I'm like, hey, now we've got, like, an opening to take him out. Do still have this stuff over here. I don't remember what happens here, so I think I just lose everything. I assume. Okay, I placed 2 houses. They're going to die. But his castle's down, and I'm like, all right, we've done it now. He hopefully doesn't have any siege there. But my plan was he can't take out trebs and also take out the castle. He can only do one of those things. So getting Bracer for the Navy. bringing in a tiny little navy here. And we will transport. And this is funny. He's actually stonewalling. Didn't think about the transport. And yeah, I mean, there's not much he can do. His siege is dead. He doesn't have anything left. And with it being sudden death, he will die before he makes it to the Imperial Age. So yeah. Not really happy with how I played this game. I think I needed to be a bit sharper in the early stages. Like, the opening was good. The opening created chaos, which is what we wanted. But I should have won water way faster. I should have never added that transport ship. Sorry, guys, but that's just the boring play is the right play. I should have just added fish. I shouldn't have even been aggressive with my galleys, probably. I should have just kept them, been passive, kept feeding my eco lead. But we get the job done anyways. It just felt like we had such a nice lead. You go back to Feudal Age, that point where I talked about wood. Like, look at the wood spend. Every time I'm getting wood, I'm ideally spending it. Not a single point where when I'm looking through where I go over 200 wood, so we did a really good job there to spend a res all the time. That's why I like Dravidians. Just the extra pop space from their houses, all that extra wood, it just leads to so many good things, whether it's a boat, an archer range, an archer, fishing ships. It's not the best civ on this map, but it's solid. So yeah, I'm happy with this. The next opponent we will play is a big step up, though. So I go from being the favorites to being the underdog. And it's 26 or 2,700 elo player named Sorakuma. Sorakuma is playing really well right now. And the thing that will be tricky here, I think I had better overall strategy. Sometimes the strategy's even, but the skill's different, right? Sorakuma's strategy is really good. He prepares a lot. He's lots of talking with his team. He's not like a player who YOLOs Arabia all day and doesn't prepare for tournaments. So, it will be a very tricky matchup for me. However, what do I have to lose? He's younger. He's faster. He's higher ranked. He prepares maybe even more than me. Well, he definitely will prepare more than me. I probably won't prepare much. What do I have to lose? I'm the underdog, so I'm going to play with good game plans in mind. We might need to be more chaotic. I might try some desperation things in that series, which look really, really bad. Could also look really, really good if it works. And, we'll see. But win or lose, I will review those games. I will cast these games. Unless viewership for these videos is absolutely awful. So I know you guys are already watching, but if you do enjoy these, leave a like and a comment at least, so it just lets me know. Because essentially, I'm sinking double the time. I'm playing the games. I'm also then reviewing them and casting them. But as I said, I just think this is better for me. Like, when I try and stream my tournaments, I play worse. I'm not as focused. I'm not as locked in. It's just I'm just not able to play as good. So I just think this is better because before I was signing up for tournaments and I was very frustrated that I didn't play my best or near my best after the fact. So now that it removes that excuse of why. And now it's just, am I going to play good for other reasons? So that's pretty much it. Well played to Bullet. Bullet, I know you were sick during this series, so sorry that you had health issues and whatnot. I hope you feel better, dude. Bullet, I remember casting 10 plus years ago. He's like player plays a lot of BF. I think he was on RFR clan with MBL and Hart back in the day. I think it was RFR. Anyways, fun to play him. He was very nice and kind and whatnot. And thanks to John Slope and World's Edge, everyone for hosting / sponsoring the event. I'll see you later, YouTube. Lots of content in the main channel, of course, but thank you. Looking forward to sharing more of my tournament journey with you guys as I sign up for more and more events. Thanks.